The new enemy of investing is fake news. Recently, a big bank is being targeted by fake news. You're hearing constantly that there is going to be a class action suit in US being filed against them and that all seems to be fake. What is worrisome about fake news is the market should be allowed to find its own level. Now, if there is a company which is doing well or doing badly, you want the truth to reach you. In today's situation, what is happening, truth is also reaching you and fake news of falsehood is also reaching you. At least in the media, you have some kind of check. An editor cannot publish whatever nonsense he wants, but to create a blog or to create a vlog does not take anything. Anybody with one phone and maybe one credit card to buy a website for yourself or create your own blog or a blog, you need one credit card, some address, and that's it, you're up and running. Do you want such information to hit you? Look, there are articles which are being circulated saying how ITC is a good buy. There are articles saying how ITC is not a good buy. Which one do you believe and which one do you find somebody with 20 years experience saying something and another video and somebody with 18 years experience saying somewhat similar things or somewhat dramatically different? How do you handle this? You have Naren's view on one hand and then you have a bunch of other clutter on the other hand. Whom do you believe? Whom do you trust? Do you trust Naren saying, oh, Naren has had so much experience, or is his experiments acting against, is his experience acting against him? Is he still stuck with some ideas which are old, which may not be working today? How do we know? Naren himself must be wondering whether these ideas are right, wrong, genuine, doesn't matter. Because with PSU buying, both by Naren, by Prashant and by Anand Radhakrishnan, are they in a strategy that they think that PSUs will go up, or are they hoping that the PSU will go up? We have no clue on all that. The problem is, when you get a news item about any of them or a news item about a company which is contrarian to what you are thinking, you are suddenly evaluating Naren and saying, this news item can't be wrong, so maybe Naren is wrong. So be careful about how much of data you're getting, from where you're getting, how much of nonsense is coming to you, how much of nonsense is reaching you. Now, to know all this, you have to understand one thing, that the word responsible journalism looks like a tautology. You always thought journalism is supposed to be responsible, and that is how we all thought it was. I don't think you can find a shitty article in a nice, good newspaper, and I don't want to name any newspaper, but today you're finding that all these articles are finding their way into it. I'm not even second guessing the motive for this being published, that is too far away. But be careful that a lot of fake news is coming into the system. There is no way how you can know whether it is right or wrong. And research reports are but opinion. So it could be right and you could be in a minority. So you cannot say, oh, see what the majority is saying. That is also not the best way to look at it, right? As a layman, how will you make a distinction between an article written by a journalist who understands business and or a media plant or a plant by another competitor? How would you know any of those things? The amount of misinformation that is available in the world today is unbelievable. So somebody who is trying to corner shares of a bank, keeps on telling you that there is a class action suit. Maybe you will sell it off. Maybe he will create that news item again in the same newspaper after 15 days and you will be convinced that, oh, this is something else. It's not. It is the same article being written again and again and being plugged, right? So you have to understand how much of it is fake news, how much of it is genuine news, and you have to take your decision based on that. It is very difficult for today's youngsters to know all this at all. Forget, how will you seek justice? You will seek justice only when you think some injustice has been done to you. If you don't even know that fake news is such a big problem, how will you know how much to take, how much not to take, when to check with a professional whether it is right or wrong? I think these are all very difficult. And dissent in many cases is seen as stupid. The narrative in the investment community is to avoid too much of questioning on logic, on actual information, and also some of the fixed notions that inflation will always be low, interest rates will always be low, not necessarily true, right? Just that a couple of people are worried about democracy, or 135 crore people are sure that democracy will survive, right? Crude prices will fluctuate, real estate prices will fluctuate, interest rates will change, all these things will happen. How long are you going to be wondering whether it is really happening or whether it is a fake news? So be careful about the news that you get. Discuss it with others, whoever it is, your own people, and then take a decision before you want to add on to that story. Thank you.